Welcome back to Roadtrip Revivals. This is my latest purchase. I'm kind of parked in an odd spot here under the trees. I just picked the car up like 10 minutes ago, and so I quickly jumped back to show you my first drive and how we've ended up in this point, and then we'll come back here and figure out exactly how we're going to rectify this situation. Hey, you join me aboard my new purchase, and what can I tell you? It runs just, oh god, it does not like to get into first gear. We've got 2.5 cylinders and a howling fan belt. Yeah, I meant to stop and film an intro, but oh my god, that's howling. I just literally threw some money at the people and hit the road, and that's because the battery on this is totally shot, and I want to get to the car parts place before it closes. Let's just pull away in a second, shall we? Don't stop, don't stop. Oh my god, this is terrible. Okay. So yeah, it has to be jump started, and it runs like an absolute turd, and I can't get it into first gear. And if it stops, I'm totally knackered, so just gonna slip the clutch like hell in second gear. It's 5 miles to the car parts place, and then we'll get a battery on here and see if we can cure these misfires. But yeah, apart from the fact it's running on 2.5 cylinders, it drives, well, it's got brakes, feels alright otherwise. Just hope we can make it there. I hope the fan belt doesn't snap before then as well. It can't go along in 4th gear. That, my friends, was the fan belt snapping off. Yep, battery lights on. That could be a problem. Going to be overheating before too long. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I've got a dilemma. I can put the heater on and the blower works, I just tried it, but that's going to kill our battery quicker. Can I get 3.8 miles before it overheats? Gonna have to, aren't we, basically? That's weird. When I test drove it, there wasn't any squealing. And then when we started it again for me to leave, I had to jump start it again. It was like the, I don't know, folks, the amount it was squealing seems like the alternator was seized up. Temperature gauge is on half. We're going downhill, let's ease off. Got half a tank of fuel, if you can believe that. Temperature gauge is creeping up. Come on, keep going. There's no like valve train noise or rattling, smoking, nothing like that. Oh, damn it. This is going to be the most excruciating 3 miles of my life, I think, and so it's nearly in the red already. This is a good start, isn't it? I noticed the belt was loose, but I thought it was going to be alright for a few miles. Oh God, now we got to go uphill. .5 miles. Come on, please keep going. Oh, it's slowing down. Second gear. Come on. The gauge is just below the red still. 2 miles to go, come on. Got to turn here. Turn. I really. I was using the handbrake to slow down then. I think that's just an old habit from driving Fords. Alright, 1.8 miles, come on. I've actually got a couple of fan belts with me. Probably haven't got one the right length. What's the chance a car parts store is going to have one? Yeah, just occasionally it's sort of always on 3 cylinders, and sometimes it drops to 2. So there's definitely a bit of an ignition issue. When we took the plugs out, they were black as anything, so the mixture's not very healthy anyway. The idle's turned up very high, so I don't think it will cut out. It's just a matter of not being able to get first gear to pull away on the junctions. Oh, don't make me stop. Come on. Oh God, I thought he was going to stop then. Right, we're off again. 1.2 miles. The temperature's actually holding steady at 3/4. It's possible that you still get a tiny bit of circulation just from the thermo movement. Right, roundabout. Please don't come. Alright, it's clear, go. Oh no, big hill to go up. One mile to go. How is it not overheating? I do not know. Unless the gauge is just whatever. Probably that. Yeah, the gauge is probably not accurate, I'm going to say, because it surely must be starting to overheat by now. Oh, it is coming up again. Yeah, the first gear thing is weird because if you push it right over to the left just before it goes into the reverse gate, you can sort of squeeze it into first. So I don't think the gearbox is bad. I think that's just an adjustment issue. Here we are. Okay, I think we're going to make it. You'll love this. I think the brakes are sticking on as well now. Squeaking well. Yeah, brakes are stuck on. Oh dear. All right. Okay, there is first gear. First drive done. And yeah, it's quite a disaster, to be honest. That's what's left of our fan belt. So that's handy. Can you see the part number on it? The water pump's not seized up, and the alternator's not seized up. There is a lot of corrosion on the pulleys in the V there, and that tends to eat up the belts pretty quickly. So let's go and see if these guys have got a belt or two and a battery, and yeah, I suppose we'd be on our way again in theory. Okay, slightly less than ideal situation. The folks here, they sold me a battery. That is okay, but they didn't have a fan belt the right length. I think the one on there's something like an 805, an 810, something like that. All they had was either like a 700 or 1,000, a metre long, way too long. I brought 3 with me, and I haven't got the right one either. So anyway, I've put the new battery in. I'm going to try and move over into a shady spot and see if we can't figure something out. It just about runs because I don't know if you can see the slope we're on, but just taking the handbrake off and it didn't move. What's it with brakes? I can't get a brake. I can't get a brake off anyway. Now we can't get into first. God, it was supposed to be an easy one, this. Oh, dare I say, I thought it was going to be too easy. Get in and drive home. Nope. Oh, the door won't open. Oh. Right, so this is where we're at. I've just thrown the new battery in just to get us going. That was the parts place over there. I've come over here where it's a bit shady and we can work. So battery check, that was the easy bit. And the most immediate problem now is the fact that we haven't got an alternator belt. This, I don't know if you can see the slack in that, but this is the one that was the closest to the right length. So that's a problem. And there's in other news, we've got a horribly misfiring engine, 2.5 cylinders at best. And we've got this brake sticking on. So that's nice too. So what I'm thinking is, if I take the bolt, the adjustment bolt out of the alternator, this one, perhaps if I take this bolt right out, I can tip the alternator further forward. Maybe cable tie it to the front panel there. I know that's not ideal, the engine's jumping around, but could that get us going far enough to find another parts place? Free the brake off. Try and do something about this misfire as well. I've got a couple of spare ignition leads with me. but then I know the compression's low. Don't know. I think I'll try and figure out which cylinder it is. Try changing a lead. Maybe that will help. I've got a few plugs as well. Try and improve that situation, but yeah, kind of in a hole here, to be honest. We are kind of in a hole. Right, the bolt's out. Oh no, the alternator's touching the front cross member and the belt's still loose, so that is not going to work, unfortunately. And the other belt I've got is shorter, and with the alternator all the way in and touching whatever it touches there, the coolant hose, that one won't go on. The only other option I've got now is a cable tie fan belt, but that isn't going to last long at all. These cable ties aren't ideal because they've got this very lumpy end on them. I've got some smaller ones, but they're very skinny. There probably isn't enough of them either. Oh, I don't know actually. There's a few. Let's try the big one first. Right, we've got our cable tie fan belt on. Don't know if you can see that. It sits quite well actually. At the moment it's sitting flat in the groove. And I've put as much tension on it as I dare. These big ties are at least quite strong. I don't hold too much hope for it, but let's see. At least now we've got a good battery on there. There won't be too much demand from the alternator. I think it broke already. Oh, for fuck's sake. That didn't work, what a surprise. Oh, I thought it might at least work for a few miles, but no, shredded instantly. Belt made from electrical wire. Kidding myself, aren't I? I'll have to look and see. There must be another car parts place around, but chances are they'd all be shut now till after lunch. How else can you make a fan belt? Let's try and make a wire one. Maybe that'll last a little bit longer. Right, what does that one look like? Fairly pathetic, I would suggest. Let's give it a go anyway. The alternator light's flicking off, so that's something, I guess. The water pump's not turning at all, so less than ideal, to be honest. Let's see if we can figure out which cylinder's misfiring anyway. That one's firing. That one's firing, just. That one is not firing at all. See, I think that was one of the cylinders with better compression. Let's swap a different lead onto that one. Some leads here. Perhaps if I could fix the misfire, it'd at least feel a little bit better. Let's try that. Change the plug as well, I think, if I got one that fits. That's the old one, pretty manky, and I happen to have this NGK. It's a fairly decent match. Let's try that. Kind of feel like I'm rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. You've got 4 cylinders, it sounds pretty good there. The idle's way too high. And our fan belt's not working very well. Okay, so we had a bad plug. The alternator was still spinning there. Yeah, that's gone already. So slack already as to be completely useless, which isn't a great surprise, is it, to be fair? So the engine's running quite well now. Battery is good. The brake we can fix. But we're not going to be stranded by a fan belt, are we? I think leave it with me for a minute. I'll see what other parts places there are around. There must be a solution. There must be. Look, I've got a proper jack with me. That makes a change. So I didn't have much luck with the temporary fan belts. Surprise, surprise. What I did in the end was put on the one I had that was too long, shoved the alternator all the way forward, and it's still really, really slack, but it does mean that the alternator and the water pump are turning a bit at least. It's not going to last very long because I ran it for a few minutes and the belt was already getting hot. I'll show you what we've got there in a minute. The next parts place is a 10-minute drive away. Who knows if they'll have a belt, but we can try. It doesn't look very nice, this car, but it is solid at least. It's just not been used for a long time, has it? Oh, that's not very stuck. That's moved quite easily, actually. Oh, why is it stuck again? The pads. Are the pads stuck? No. Not that one. CV boot's alright. Brake pipe. It's old, but not too cracked. I don't think the pipe is closed up inside because I can squeeze the piston back fairly easily. Okay. Might just do the tyre pressures quickly as well because they all look a bit low. There's no point overheating a tyre while we're about it. I bought this little pump in action and tried it out on the bikes so far. I don't know if it can top up 4 tyres, we'll see. That one's at 1.5 bar, okay. Tyres are not bad actually. It's some of the newest tyres I've seen on a car I've bought for a long time. Savas, made in Poland. I pulled the airbox lid off because I thought the choke was stuck on, and it was, so got the choke off now. That's probably why that plug was fouled up. I've chucked on there, that's the longer belt we've got. That one's like an 880. The one that was on there was an 813. I feel a bit silly because had I stopped and tightened up that belt while it was squealing, it wouldn't have overheated it and snapped it, but I couldn't stop because the battery was shot. So I was caught between a bit of a rock and a hard place, really. Anyway, this is on there, and the bolt is out of the adjuster, and I pushed it all the way forward, and it's rubbing on the alternator's touching the cross member, so it makes a horrible rattling noise. But the water pump and the alternator turn around just enough, hopefully, where that is going to get us to the parts place. I had a ring round, I've been here for a while ringing around the parts places, and I managed to get through to one, and they have a belt, although they've only got 800 and 825, so they reckon it's an 825. One's probably going to be too long, one is probably going to be too short. But this is what we're working with. Now, this bit of the route is all sort of back roads, but when we get to here, it's a dual carriageway, and this is the scary bit because that is sort of a big dual carriageway bridge, and that is not somewhere to break down. So we'll plod on. The first half of the journey is the back roads. Perhaps before we get to the dual carriageway and the big bridge, we'll stop, maybe let it cool down, but I really hope that belt will hang in there, and we'll get an idea if it's going to run any better as well, because that wasn't too great either. Lots of nasty noises, but that's just the alternator rubbing on the cross member. I have this problem of that's really annoying, not being able to get it in first gear. Right, the brake is freed off. I think that'll be alright. Oh, it runs good now. Well, that's a relief at least. I might still just slow down on the handbrake for now. Oh, don't mind me, sorry. Oh, it's nice to have it running on 4 cylinders anyway, that's a big improvement. The alternator light is flicking, so yeah, the alternator's turning, but not at the desired speed. That belt, I think it will stay on there, but because it's so loose, it's going to get hot and start melting eventually. Apart from all the issues, it drives really nice, actually. It's misfiring a bit. It's still not too happy, but it's a big improvement on earlier. The temperature gauge, I don't think the temperature gauge is working actually. I think I knocked the wire off while I was messing around with the belt. Yeah, there's that wire. Yeah, I knocked it off earlier. How hot is the belt getting? Yeah, it's hot, but I can hold my hand on it, so it's not too bad. It sort of feels a bit, there's like black coming off it, it's kind of melting it a bit. That's all right, I think we're going to be all right there. I think we're going to make it to the parts store. Gotta make it to the border. Let's pull away in a second. Another day in paradise. That's our temperature gauge. Staying at a quarter actually. What else can I tell you about this little car? It's got seat covers on, front and back. So I'm going to guess that under the seat covers the seats are in perfect condition. No, probably not. Okay, this is the dual carriageway bit. And it's still 10 minutes and 5 miles to go. So yeah, we're just going to go for it, I guess. I'll tell you another thing that's quite annoying. The quarter window here obviously broke at some stage, and this is a plastic thing. And can't see through it very well. And to see the mirror, you need to see through it. Anyway, minor details in the grand scheme of things. I think it's 1 kilometre till we get to the bridge of death, where we can't break down under any circumstances. Yeah, the charge light's still glowing dimly. That belt just needs to hold on for another 4 miles. I don't suppose I've driven a Mark 1 Fiesta for 25 years at least. Actually, the last one I remember driving was at the first garage I worked at, and if I remember rightly, it was a Gear in like a pale green colour, and it was quite a tidy car, but it failed its MOT because the rear axle beam was quite rusty. And it had some tax and MOT left. And what we used to do at the time was, or what I used to do at the time, I would ask my boss if I could take the car home and thrash it round for a bit before it went to the scrapyard. And that one we took up onto Dartmoor, did handbrake turns with it till the rear axle finally snapped in half. kind of a shame looking back, because I think the rest of the car was quite nice. Here we are, we're going up to the nice bridge now. I mean, the Bridge of Death. Not sure if the speed limit is 60 going over the bridge. I'm going 60 and no one's getting angry with me. Yes, we've made it over the bridge. I'm going to lean on the brakes a bit more just before we get there, and then make sure they're not sticking at that point. They feel quite good actually, and it was only the front left that it wasn't sticking an awful lot. Here's one of those massive cranes that lifts off the containers. What a beast. And there is the parts place. Okay, let's go and see how friendly they are. Be fairly bemused, I expect. The Englishman with his janky old Ford. Vous avez dit c'est 825.
Oui, bah avec...
Je me demande si c'est mieux d'essayer le 800 d'abord, mais...
Bah après, moi, c'est ce qui me donne avec l'immatriculation. Hein.
Oui. Ok, bon, je vais le poser maintenant.
Oui.
Et si c'est la bonne taille, je reviens pour une autre.
Pour une?
Pour une deuxième.
D'accord.
Oui.
Ah oui, vous en prenez d'avance?
Oui, parce que si elle casse encore,
oui.
Je suis en panne à nouveau.
Avant que ce soit introuvable?
Non, mais j'ai 200 km à faire aujourd'hui, donc...
D'accord.
Oui,
okay.
oui.
Avec celle-ci?
Oui.
D'accord.
Oui. One of you commented a while ago you'd like to see me go into a French parts store, so there we are. They were completely bemused, as expected. All right, that's the 825 belt installed. I think 813 probably was the right size because it's right near the end of its adjustment to get it fairly tight, but it does go tight. And I've got a second one for a spare. The owner told me that he pulled the wire off the fan because actually I do remember this, it runs all the time on these, and that's kind of pointless. If you're on the highway, you don't need the fan running all the time, or if it's cold or whatever. Let's see how it runs now. Hello, now it won't start. About as good as it gets, I think. You can hear it doesn't have much compression when it turns over. Let's find a fuel stop, I think. know, this is the procedure to get first gear. If you do that, it doesn't go in. You have to kind of push it till it's almost in the dropping into the reverse and then forward. And that's where first is, so it's just an adjustment issue. I tried to take a video of it. I don't know if it came out when just before I handed over the dough for the car. He said he'd do a compression test on it, and he had this really old machine, compression testing machine, where you hold a rubbery cone piece, you hold it against the spark plug hole, and then there's like a little lever that flicks up, and behind it is a little paper chart. And the little lever draws a red line on the chart, and each time you move to a new cylinder you pull the chart up a bit and then you get a reading for each cylinder. It's quite cool actually, but it did serve to prove that there isn't much compression on this thing. But hey ho, it runs on 4 cylinders now, so can't complain too much. Right, filled up with fuel, 25 litres. That'll be plenty to get us home. Look at all my junk in the trunk here. A real professional outfit. I just found a shady spot to park next to McDonald's. And I figured as I was taking the back roads home that it was going to get really annoying, the gear linkage. And then under here, just where I'm pointing, is the adjustment. Slacken off that nut and bolt and just move the selector rod. In this case, I moved it counterclockwise so that it will turn it, in effect, slightly more clockwise. So I think that will do it for that. We'll find out in a minute. I haven't tested it yet. And then the other thing I did was I didn't have any cigarette lighter for my charging, so I pulled out this radio wiring, and I usually carry a bit of wire with an USB on it. So that is joined up. Professional installation there. That means I can charge my camera. The brake is sticking again, which is annoying. So let's just pretend that will fix itself and carry on. Spoiler alert, it won't. Still get reverse. First. Yes. Second. Yeah, that's a lot better. 6:15 it says, but I'm going to say probably more like 7 by the time we've done a few more stops. The cops are going past. Are they interested? He is kind of having a look actually. Let's get out of here before he's got a chance to turn around and have a word with me. Not that I'm doing anything wrong, in theory. It's really lumpy on idle, but once you get a few revs on, it's not too bad. Oh, there's no train coming! Ah. Nope, we're okay. Oh, listen to the induction roar. Was able to bring plenty of tools and bits and bobs with me because Abby dropped me off this morning, and don't think that means I've got a support vehicle, because she kind of dropped me off and said, "See ya," because our little one was in the car, so he didn't want to hang around, which is fair enough. I must admit, when I drove away from where I bought the car, and we had a knackered battery, horrible misfire, dodgy brakes, alternator belt hanging off, wasn't feeling too good about it, if I'm honest. But I think we're golden now. Amazingly, that brake has freed itself off now. First time for everything. I just had a quick stop here to have a little look over things. Everything seems all right. The belt has already gone a bit slack, and that is to be expected because the corroded pulleys are eating into it. That's okay, we'll leave it like that. As long as it's not howling, then it's not going to overheat and break it, and we have a spare anyway. But yeah, just thought I'd give you a walk around of the car. I like cars that are original, and this one has originality in spades, but there's enough corrosion on it that really it all needs a good going over and a repaint. I think I might call it Spotty, I don't know. The chrome is all quite nice. There's one little bend in the bumper here, that's not bad at all. The lights are completely shot, all the reflector is flaking off. The bonnet's nice and straight, which is unusual for a Mark 1. Under there, the 1.1. I think they called these the Valencia, didn't they? It's the front-wheel drive version of the crossflow engine. I don't think many of the parts are interchangeable. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, that's all working all right at the moment. I even bolted the battery in because this is a professional outfit. But yeah, it's all nice and straight down the side. There's no nasty rust around the windscreen. No dings, no dents. It's quite spotty at the back. Again, the bumper is nice. Like I say, tyres not too bad. Bit crispy on the gutter here, but nothing terrible. Really nothing terrible. When we get back to HQ, we'll have a good dig around underneath, but I think it's solid. So let's get back on the road. 95 miles to go. It's a bit funny to start sometimes. that. I think my new channel name is living up to expectations, I hope. Roadtrip Revivals. Just a short road trip for this one, but yeah, we've already fixed a lot of things. It's still really lumpy on idle. At one point, it sort of cut out for about a second, 2 seconds maybe, and then it cut in again like we got bad connection on the ignition or something, so that might be an issue at some point. Probably be when we hit a big bump somewhere or something, it'll cut out, but we'll see. Yeah, it's going to be the furthest this car's driven for many years, I reckon. Ford put an immense amount of development time and money into the Mark 1 Fiesta, and I really feel like they made a great car. It's, compared to its contemporaries, there's really a lot to like about it. And when they released the Mark 2, they didn't change really a whole lot, but they somehow lost the purity of the Mark 1. Coming up to the barrage of Arzal at the moment, and it is, as the name suggests, a barrage. There's a canalised river, that's to say a river that's been closed off at the end and turned into a canal. It's a swing bridge, is it? Or would you call it a drawbridge? Either way, there's a bridge that lifts up. Yeah, so we may have to wait a bit if the bridge is open. See. Yeah, as expected, the bridge is closed. Judging by the length of the queue, hopefully we haven't got too long to wait. I just found this lead replacement stuff. Do you guys use that? I always think as long as you use 98, it doesn't make too much difference really, particularly if you're not doing sort of long journeys where the engine gets hot, but I gave it a dose anyway. It smells like kerosene, so I don't know. Handbooks and things here as well. Oh, we haven't got a service book, have we? We have got a service book. Look at that. Good old Motorcraft. Have we got any stamps though? We have. This is near where I picked the car up, the city of Nantes. It looks like probably been in Nantes its whole life. And it got 3 stamps, the last one 8,000 kilometres, 1979. Let's say it might be due for another service by now. What else have we got? A little booklet about crashes, that's nice. Oh, we've also got the owner's manual. Nice. Bit tatty, but yeah, it's all there. So this is the inside of the barrage, and there's a huge marina there, which is pretty cool. A nice place to keep your boat, fresh water as well. And then the other side over there is the estuary. And then somewhere down here is the lock, where the boats can go through, but I was going to stop and have a look, but there's no boats in there, so it's nothing much to see. There we are, we're on our way at least. Spotty's going quite well now. Apart from a lumpy idle still. Yeah, it goes along pretty good for a 1.1. There's not much weight to it, is there? What is it? Probably sub 700 kilos, I'm guessing. Just fancied a quick rest stop, and I noticed we were driving along parallel to the canal, and there was a little road heading down towards it, so I thought, it'd be a nice place to stop for a minute, look at the canal. Not really. We're next to a sewage treatment works. Never mind. I forgot to point this out earlier. Probably the original dealer sticker there from Nantes, which is near the town where we bought the car. Let's see all of this. It's still solid. Bottom of the doors, wheel arches, everything is solid. What else did we do? Check the oil, gave that a quick top up. Otherwise it looks okay, brakes are all cool. Still about an hour to get home. So yeah, that's it. I think we're just going to push on for home. Oh, this was a funny thing. See the manual pump there for the screen wash. I tried it earlier, it still works actually. Right, crack on I think. It's hard to imagine, isn't it? 1978, someone goes to pick up their brand new Fiesta they ordered. They stand back and look at it and think, I'm really glad I got the beige. Yeah, but for a car to restore, not going to get too much easier than this, is it? If you're enjoying the channel, please consider giving me a like and a subscribe. That would help me out. I'll aim to bring you more road trips in ropey cars. Well, that's a wrap on this one. You can say what you like about these old Fords, but they usually get you home one way or another. And I'm home in time for my dinner and a bath. Bonus. It only took me 8.5 hours to do a 2.5 hour drive somehow. But yeah, there we are. Quite pleased with that one. That went quite well, all things considered. And I've got a good solid car to do something with, possibly. Who knows what? We'll see. Thanks for joining me, guys. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one.